we're home. I'm getting ready to unload the RXB 90. It seems like we just did this not too long ago. This company, and we'll get into this later in the video, different shipping company than the last one. And what I love is they wrapped it in black plastic, kind of conceal what's inside of it, but also protect it a little bit. And they put fragile stickers on the outside of it, and it's also bolted to a pallet. None of this was done on the other one, and this one appears to be in pretty good shape. There's one little spot over on this side where it looks like they forked it a bit, but I don't see any damage on the wheel behind it, so I'm going to get this unloaded. Slid the pallet into the garage, and you're going to open it up. As we open it up, you'll see what we see. So let's get to it. I really like that they wrapped it in this black plastic. I really like that a lot. Let's save the bill of lading. Okay. Okay, grab that plastic, peel it off, and throw it over here. So, first look, here's where they forked it, but it doesn't look like anything happened. Aside from that, this crate looks a whole lot more square than the last one. The last one, looked like it'd been rolled over a time or two. It's kind of beat up. For those of you that haven't seen the previous video, we did a full review on the RXB 125. So this is the RXB 90cc. So let's get this cardboard off of it and take a look. This crate is in much better shape. So, where's our side to peel? Right here. And then I'll have you drag this cardboard box off of it. You ready? There it is. Super cool. And take a look at that. Included in this one, 2 quarts of oil and the spark plug that wasn't there in the 125, and we had to ask for it. It is included. Here's a little tool kit, tools for the bike, graphics kit, and we'll get to, when we start assembling it, what graphics kit came with it. It appears to be the X Motos, but I can't really tell. So anyhow, first thing we need to do is start disassembling the steel crate that it comes in. We've got most everything off of it and out of the crate, and we've got the steel cage from around it off, and we've got a pile of parts over here on the ground, and got the handlebars removed from over here on the side and cables straightened out, and just kind of laying here now. We're getting ready to put the risers on. So we'll do the risers, we'll do the bars, and then we'll lift the rear end and get the lower shock bolt in it. But coming right along. Alright, so Nicole is going to put in the lower shock bolt when I lift up the rear end. Go ahead and swing the shock in, wiggle it around. Okay. Nice. We're starting. I'll wiggle, go ahead. There it is. Okay, we'll get it put all the way through and we'll get the nut put on. Excellent. So we're getting ready to put the front wheel on now. We've got the bike balanced up on a standard 5-gallon bucket. Disc goes on the left-hand side. The axle that it comes with has 2 different length spacers. The long one goes on the left side of the disc side. Short one goes on the other side. So we're getting ready to put that through now. One thing I did have to do is put a screwdriver in between the disc brake pads and spread them apart. All of these fasteners we're putting blue Loctite on too, just by the way. So while we've got the front end still open here and access to this area, this is the kill switch up on the handlebars. And we're going to go ahead and replace that with a momentary spring-loaded push-button style kill switch. The reason being, it comes with this rocker switch. We did the same thing on the 125, but the problem is a lot of times we'll forget when we shut the bike off and go to start it, and you'll kick and you'll kick and you'll kick and you'll kick and it won't fire, and you're going, what in the heck? And then realize, oh, the switch was off. This style, you can't do that. So we're going to change that out real quick while we've got the front end open with lots of room to get to it. We just finished putting the front fender on and the number plate, routing cables. We're done with the kill switch. Now we'll put a couple of zip ties on here and that'll be done. So we're getting ready to put the graphics on and change the oil and give her a test start. We just finished zip tying our kill switch cable down, routing everything. And then we checked the chain tension. Now from the factory, it was super tight, way over tight. So we broke the axle loose, backed it off. This chain gets tighter as the suspension compresses. So you can see we've got 3/4 of an inch or so. Go ahead and sit on it. Now we've got a 1/2 inch or so. That's pretty decent. That still allows for the rest of the suspension travel without over-tensioning. We are currently draining the oil that it shipped with. Like I talked about in the RXB 125 video, these things ship from China with a preserving oil. It's not a lubricating oil. And you should never ever start these Chinese motors without changing the oil. So that's what we're doing right now. As you can see, we got the graphics kit on. And this is the X-Moto's graphic kit, just like the 125. So yeah, we get this oil changed. We'll get some gas poured in it. And we're about ready to try to fire it up for the first time. Just like the 125, I did the exact same thing on this 90cc. And that was remove this piece of crap, little tin stamped boot from around the spark plug boot. Again, I have no idea why these Chinese motors come with them, because none of the Japanese motors do. And just like on the 125, that little cover, that clamshell, was actually inhibiting the boot from pushing on all the way. So that's got to go. One other thing that we got rid of was the chain guard. You know, you may want to leave that on. I don't. So pulled that as well. We rolled the bike outside and we're getting ready to start it for the very first time. So first time ever the bike's been started. Here we go. All right. So we're going to turn the choke on. So I'm going to ask you the same question. How many kicks?
Maybe
2.
1.
We got 1 and we got 2. Okay. So I'm going to roll it over slow. A couple of times just to make sure there's no hang-ups or anything weird, and then I'll give it one. So, here we go. Nice and slow. Oh, it's got good compression. There's 1. I'm going to roll it slow. All right, I'm going to kick it once hard now. I am so impressed with these RXBs. Brand new bike, right out of the box. Very first kick. And the 125 was the same way. All right, I'm gonna let the idle stay high like that for about 5 minutes or so, just to kind of seat the rings. Then we'll shut it down, we'll let it heat soak for 5-10 minutes, then we'll fire it up and do it again. Pretty impressive first kick. These are awesome bikes, they really are. So here's the pair of bikes. The one on the left is the RXB 90, the one on the right is the RXB 125. As far as dimensions, they're identical. They run the same disc brakes, the same calipers, the same frame. They have the exact same wheelbase. So that means the cartridge forks are the same, the swing arms of the frame. Really, the only difference is the diameter of the wheels and tires. And on obviously the displacement, the 90cc on the left has a smaller cylinder than the 125 on the right. Aside from that, they're pretty well identical. So quite a bit of things were different with this order on the 90cc, the bike on the left, versus the 125. and I just made a short list, and I wanted to go over those. The most important thing, I guess, that I really want to get across in this is that this was a substantially better buying experience buying the 90 than it was with the 125. And it all starts with the shipping. So on the 90, that was shipped with a company called XPO Logistics. Really, really good company. Their tracking was excellent. You know, it was up to date almost by the minute. So there's no question as to where the bike was during the entire time it shipped. It only took 7 days from the time they picked it up to the time it got dropped off. And I had this dropped off at my work, just like the 125. So 7 days. That is a substantial improvement from the 125. The 125 shipped with Roadrunner freight, and that took 22 days. And that was a freaking nightmare. That was just not fun at all. So much better. XPO Logistics did a fantastic job of shipping. From the day they picked it up, they gave me an estimated time of arrival, and they stuck to it. 7 days from Texas to Oregon. So I think that's pretty damn good. Let's see. I don't know if it was done this way by the shipping company or by Orion Powersports, but the 90 was bolted to a pallet, and the box was wrapped in plastic. It was very, very nice. It had fragile stickers on it. Again, I don't know who did that, if that was the shipping company or if that was Orion, but that's much better than on the bike on the right, the 125. It wasn't bolted to a pallet, and it looked like it'd been through a few tornadoes. It was pretty beat up, the box was. So that was a much better experience, again, with the RXB 90. Every single negative experience I had with the 125 was non-existent with the 90. And I mean every single experience. So on the 90, we dumped some fuel in, after the bike was all assembled. No issues there at all. On the 125, it had a pretty massive fuel leak. What had happened on it was the fuel petcock that bolts into the bottom of the tank. There's an O-ring in there that was not seated squarely, and when they tightened up the two bolts for the petcock, it ended up squeezing that O-ring out the side, resulting in a gigantic fuel leak. That didn't happen on the 90, but for a different reason. It's a slightly different style petcock. The petcock on the 90 is actually an inline petcock. It doesn't bolt to the tank, and I like that better. That pretty well frees you up to use any inline petcock you want, fuel shutoff valve. Whereas the 90, or the 125, you're kind of stuck with that exact style. Yeah, so no fuel leak. That was a bonus. RXB 90 came with the spark plug and 2 quarts of oil. So when you order a new Orion bike, I think larger than 70cc, it comes with 2 quarts of oil and a spark plug. You can remove that part of the order from your order and save $10, but I thought for $10 I couldn't buy the stuff in town, so I just had them include it. When the 125 shipped to me, that wasn't in the crate anywhere. And I had to contact Orion, who were very good about it. They promptly shipped it out to me. But that wasn't an issue on the 90. It was in the crate. And, when we did the unboxing, you saw it. It was right there. In fact, I pointed it out. I was kind of happy to see that. So no issues on the 90, but it was missing on the 125. Really about the only differences between the two bikes, obviously, is the displacement. The bike on the left's a 90, the one on the right's a 125. Wheel diameter. So on the 90, the bike on the left, the front wheel is a 12-inch and the rear is a 10-inch diameter. On the 125, the bike on the right, the front is a 14 and the rear is a 12. So I started shopping around, on eBay and looking. You can buy the set of 14 12s just like the 125 for about $160 to your door. So if you wanted to raise it up another inch and a half or so, you could buy the bigger wheels and they'll bolt right on the thing. But really, that's about the main difference. It's about an inch difference in seat height between the two, and that's completely because of the wheel diameter. Yeah, the bikes, should have, I believe, the same exact forks, same swing arm, same plastic. I think they pretty well share everything, just wheel diameter and bigger displacement between the two. Both bikes have been first kick-starting bikes right out of the crate. And they continue, the 125 has continued to be 1 to 2 kicks tops, and she's running every single time. These are, I believe, Shenzhen, I can't pronounce it, motors out of China. This company's been building, dirt bikes, Honda clones for many years. Orion's been using these Shenzhen motors for like 14, 15 years now. So I'm not worried a bit about longevity of the motor. I mean, if the motors do crap out, $250 on Amazon, you can get you a new China motor and drop in it, if you really wanted to. So really, it's not that big a deal. I am incredibly impressed with the quality of the bikes. I said this on the 125 review. And for those of you, who are new to the channel or didn't catch the review of the 125, check it out. Go to my channel and check out that video. And it's, a lot like this video as far as putting it together, things like that. Talk about it and the struggles I went through with the shipping and things like that. Again, none of that. Every single issue I had with the 125, and pretty much all of that was shipping and some other minor things. All of that was gone with the 90cc, every bit of it. So yeah, I'm impressed with the quality of these bikes. I've said this before, I don't think they're on par with Japanese bikes, but they're close. They're definitely leaps and bounds ahead of where traditionally Chinese motorcycles used to be. They are certainly making progress. For the money, I don't think you could beat it. I really don't. The RXB 90 on the left, I think, was $888 to my door, brand new. And that was actually $60 more because I live in I guess they call it extended Northwest region. It's more freight cost to get the bike to me, so I had to pay $60 more to get it shipped to me. The 125 was a little bit more than that. I think it was $980 or something when I ordered it to my door. Same thing, I had to pay shipping because of where I live compared to Texas. But for under $1,000, where are you going to find a brand new bike of this quality? They just don't exist that I'm aware of. So fantastic little bikes. I was impressed enough, even with my negative shipping experience on the 125, to again buy the 90cc. So, Orion Powersports out of Texas. I said this before. I truly believe it. You guys got a winner with these RXBs. They are fantastic bikes. And, enough so that I bought a second.